roughly 3 years ago, when we began to think about school reorganization, reconfiguration, we felt that it would be beneficial to our students if we transitioned our K-5 schools to K-3 schools, in our mind creating a stronger school setting focusing on early childhood education, and specifically having schools that would be have a laser-like focus on helping all children develop the foundational literacy and math skills that would position them to be very successful throughout their school careers. In addition, we wanted to create schools that provided youngsters with adequate time, more time, to develop those basic literacy and math skills in a kid-friendly way, and a major part of that was offering full-day kindergarten. So those were really the two major transitions that took place, and I think the board's interest and my interest is, how are we doing? How is it going?
There's something about a K-3 school. It has a different feel to it, and it allows us to really focus in on what the needs are. And I think it was Brian that said, we're not trying to, divide ourselves and try to wear too many hats. The focus really is on our vision that in a very child-centered, and I loved how Jen said they're having fun. I mean, you go in to see the math lessons in Eureka, or you're going in to see them, they don't know that they're writing and they're talking about rubrics and assessing each other's work, but they're having a great time. So when you think about that child-centered and that sense of play and school being fun, they're having a blast, and we're having a blast seeing it.
When we were a K-5 building, there were already times when we were dividing K-3 and 4-5 for PBIS assemblies, for example, because some of the content was different for our younger students and our older students. So while we miss, of course, having our older students there and some of the faculty that worked with our older students, I will say that is really exciting to be in a primary building and to have that focus on our young learners.
As you know, we're very data-driven, and progress monitoring has been a huge district priority and certainly a priority in our school improvement plans. Having the K-3, we've totally revamped the way we do our progress monitoring. It used to really be about the grade level teachers. Now we're bringing everybody to the table. It's the reading teachers, it's the ESL teachers, it's the speech therapist, it's the school psychologist, really looking at, okay, if our vision is we don't have children leave here that are not reading and doing math at grade level, then we all own it. And to me, I see a deeper level of ownership, because it's as you mentioned, Ken, that laser-like focus. Everybody is, we're all K-3, and you're able to touch more kids in that configuration than we could before, because we're not spreading them so thin, and the needs, K1, they still need letter sound and word study, and it's closer where you're able to group kids and move kids among, classrooms to really make sure that if Brian's got 2 kids that need something and I have 3 and Jen has 1, instead of the 3 of us doing it, maybe I take all 5 of them. And so because of Brian said the schedule, that RTI block, the way it's built in, we can share our kids, and so it's not just I'm responsible for my 15, 16, 17. I'm responsible for all our first graders. We all have a hand in that. And that's something that I think we've always done that, but not to the depth that we are doing it now. Developmentally, there's such a difference, K-3, between 4th and 5th graders. And it's interesting, and I say that because I have a couple of teachers that taught 4th grade who are now teaching 3rd grade, and they say to me, wow, there is a huge difference. And I think for our 3rd graders, they were always in the shadow of the 4th and 5th graders. And as Brian said, they lead now. They're running student council. They're seeing themselves in leadership roles in the building. And that's something that they didn't have the opportunity to do before. And really where they're at developmentally, as Rob said, they're learning to read. And 3rd graders are still, they're on that cusp where they're starting to transfer and change from learning to read to learn. And that really strengthens in that 4, 5, 6. And so that's that pivotal year that they really need to be with us to cement those foundational skills.
I think our 3rd graders, too, feel so much more responsibility for the school and for the school community. It's really been exciting to see them step up and take those opportunities. So last year we had a school newspaper that was run by our 5th graders. This year we have 80 3rd graders who are running a school newspaper, and they're doing a great job of it. They're certainly having that opportunity to remediate our kids is important, but in that same 35-minute block, we also have a strong commitment to enriching and stretching our students who are ready for those kinds of challenges, and our teachers are equally as passionate about doing that.
K-3 buildings are a lot of fun. The kids are within the same developmental range, so when we plan activities, the kids can reflect on being a Royal Comet, being ready, being responsible, being caring. And what you see in the building is a lot of the students showing caring around each other. The other piece is a lot of the third graders can take leadership roles that they never had before, like doing RCTV, student council, and being real leaders of a K-3 building.
We've talked a lot about reading, we've talked a lot about writing and math. We're also able to address the whole child. And especially with the integration of science and social studies within the instruction, we're able to kind of meet the needs of the students and their interests where they're at much easier this way.
I had the opportunity this morning to talk to one of my first grade parents, and he told me just how excited his son was to come to school on Monday morning. And I'm not going to lie, he was a little choked up about it, and it kind of got me a little choked up too. You know, he was very anxious about his son coming to our school this year. It was his first year in the district, and his son started out a little bit behind, but after parent-teacher conferences, he felt very confident that the teacher knew his son well and had a real plan to move him forward, and just said, you know, he was just delighted to see him running to the bus on Monday morning.